stockholders' equity. This is ratio of liabilities to stockholders' equity. Equals, go to Cat's balance sheet, total liabilities, right here, they give the number, boom. Divided by total stockholders' equity, right here. Enter, you're done. Copy, paste formula, and you've got 2023 done also. Okay, questions? All right, this next one is a little bit kind of wonky, a little bit kind of weird.
Oh, no.
And it's not too weird, not too hard, but you just pay attention and follow through what I'm doing here. Obviously, in the formula is written with the numerator in parentheses, so you can tell right away we're gonna go equals and open a parentheses. In the numerator, look at carefully there. It's income before income tax plus interest expense divided by interest expense. Well, let's go to the income statement. So I got equals, open parentheses. Let's go to the income statement for CAT. I'm gonna scroll down. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this. We can select profit and add back their income taxes, or Caterpillar conveniently gives us profit before taxes. Well, that's the number we want, so let's pick that number, and now add a plus sign because we need to add back interest expense. Caterpillar actually puts interest expense in two different line items. Interest expense for everything else here, plus interest expense of financial products here. So I've taken my net income before taxes, which is in row 25 in my sheet, right here. Profit before taxes, right here. And then I added back this number and this number, and then close parentheses. Divided by interest expense. Well, since it's two numbers, I need to open a parentheses, and then I'll just take this plus this, close my parentheses, and hit enter.
Yeah, can you go back there?
Yeah.
You're doing.
Look at, the numerator is income before taxes plus interest expense. So look at, just go to Cat's income statement. They give you a line item called, not exactly, but pretty close, profit, income before taxes. So this is our starting point. And then we need to add back this number because this is interest expense. And we need to add back this number because this is interest expense. So in my numerator, I'm summing up three things. This, and this. And in my denominator, I just have two things, this and this. When you do Terex, they put all their interest expense in one line item. So it's a little bit easier. The one thing you gotta watch out for is they put it down as a negative number. So you actually wanna minus it, right? Because minusing a negative is adding it back. So just be careful when you're doing Terex. But for Caterpillar, they put interest expense for some reason, I know why, but it's not worth getting into, in two different places. So in my numerator, I added those three numbers together. Rows 25, 22, and 15, right? Rows 25, 22, and 15. And in my denominator is just my interest expense, rows 22 and 15. Okay, so did everyone get 8.4? Copy, paste formula, and 9.5 for 2023.
Yep.
okay? That's just a measure. Remember when I talked about times interest earned? It's a measure of how many times over Caterpillar could pay their interest expense for the year. They could pay their interest approximately 9 times. That's pretty good, right? If you lend money to Caterpillar, that probably gives you a pretty good feeling that they have the ability to pay you the interest that you earn. Asset turnover. It's a measure of how well Caterpillar uses their assets. Sales divided by average total assets, excluding long-term investments. You can ignore that because I already looked at Caterpillar's balance sheet and I did not see in their assets section, oops, we're all the way down to here. I did not see any long-term investments. I saw some long-term receivables, but you can ignore those. I didn't see any long-term investments, so we can ignore that. So we're just gonna take sales divided by average total assets. So equals, go to the income statement, total sales divided by, open a parentheses, sum, open parentheses. Now go down to total assets, sum these two, close parentheses, divided by 2, close parentheses, enter. Copy, paste. Again, kind of a little interesting side question.
Have you summed those two?
Look at Caterpillar's asset turnover. Caterpillar's asset turnover is about 1. It's actually a little bit less than 1. It's 0.7, 0.8. Target's asset turnover is 2, more than double.
It's because you did just sum.
Why?
Tracking plus.
Same reason, their products move quicker.
Similar reason. I would argue it's not so much that their products move quicker, it's that they can sell this, Target can sell the same amount as Caterpillar using less assets. Why? Target doesn't have any factories, they don't make, they're a distributor essentially, a retailer, a merchandiser. Caterpillar, on the other hand, has factories all over the world where they're making these big machines. So they have essentially more assets than Target compared to the same level of sales. So obviously, when you'll be putting Terex numbers here, and they'll be probably similar to Caterpillar's, but I would argue they're probably gonna be a little bit higher, but you'll have to wait and see. Next one is return on total assets. Numerator, net income plus interest expense, and denominator, average total assets. So we're gonna have both the numerator and denominator in parentheses, so equal open parentheses. Now we want net income, which I don't know why, but Caterpillar calls it profit 1. I think that's just a weird way it comes into their financial statements that you got from their website. Why is it called profit 1? I don't know, but this is the number that you want, plus interest expense, which is this number and this number, close parentheses, divided by, open parentheses, average total assets, which is these two. Oops, sorry, back up, I forgot to type sum. Sum, these two, close parentheses, divided by 2, close parentheses, enter. 14.4, copy, paste formula, and it was 14 last year. Everyone got that one? That one, I think, went by a little bit quickly.
Mind redoing it?
No, not at all.
Sorry.
That's all right. Look at, the numerator is in parentheses, and every time you see the word average, you know that that's also gonna be in parentheses. So both our numerator and denominator are going to be in parentheses. So I'm gonna start with an equals, open parentheses. I need to add three numbers on the income statement. Net income, also called net profit, plus interest expense, which Target gives in two different places. So I'm gonna go to the income statement and I'm gonna take net profit, which is right here, this number, plus this interest expense, plus this interest expense, and then close my parentheses. Divided by, open a parentheses, type sum, open another parentheses, go to the balance sheet, sum up both years' total assets, close parentheses, divide by 2 to get an average, close parentheses, enter.
Get to that final conversation with you.
Okay? You there?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yep. All right, next one. Return on stockholders' equity. Pretty easy. Net income divided by average stockholders' equity. So I know my denominator is gonna be in parentheses, but my numerator is just a single number. So equals, go to the income statement. Net income, which is this profit one, this number, divided by, open parentheses, sum, open parentheses, average total, now go to the balance sheet, total stockholders' equity. These two numbers, total, they call it shareholders' equity, same thing. Close parentheses, divide by 2, close parentheses, enter. 55.3, copy. 58.4 for the previous year. That's pretty good. That's a really good return. For every dollar of equity that Caterpillar uses, they earn 55 cents. That's really good. They make a lot of money for the amount of equity that they use.
Close the parentheses?
Okay? The next ratio is kind of a throwaway. What do I mean by that? Well, I looked and neither of our companies have preferred stock, which is good because then we don't have to do this next one. But rather than just leave it blank, let's just copy the same formula down. So you can just highlight the whole formula, copy, hit enter, come down here and just paste it here, and hit enter. So you'll get the exact same number. But rather than just leave it blank, let's do that. Okay, so these numbers will be the same and these will be the same.
You said face values?
No, paste formulas. No, don't, but look at, very interesting question. I can't look at, if I put my cursor here and say copy, and go here and